I know, it's not 5 o'clock. It's late at night. I shouldn't be uploading a new video, but I got a bullshit video to work on tomorrow, so we're gonna talk about 10 characters I hope show up in the Obi-Wan series. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back with a late night video. Hey, I know I do videos at 5 o'clock now, but we throw in some random ones here and there also, just to keep you entertained. And this comes after doing a very fun 2-hour Star Wars live stream. Hope you didn't miss it, but if you did, remember we talk Star Wars every Monday night at 7. And if you can't make it then, we do a live stream at 11 o'clock every morning and 7 o'clock every night, Monday through Friday. Somebody's trying to text me while I'm trying to talk to you fine folks out there in YouTube land. So what are we going to talk about? Well, there's been some news of Obi-Wan with some new cast members, and we finally get to see that the Lars are coming back. Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru will return. The same actors from Revenge of the Sith will return for the Obi-Wan series. And this got me to thinking, who else would I like to see come back for the Obi-Wan show? Of course, there's some out there I'm sure you would all love to see, and we also know Hayden Christensen is coming back as Anakin Skywalker, although I can't really figure out how. I mean, this Darth Vader, he's going to be in a suit with James Earl Jones' voice. Why would they hire Hayden? I guess he's sitting in a meditation chamber without his helmet with his head all burned up, but that's not really fun. Can't wait to see what they do with Anakin returning for the Obi-Wan series. But let's look at 10 characters from Star Wars that I hope show up on the Obi-Wan show, even if it's just a small part. Now, before we get started, as always, you'd like to become a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, head over to Patreon, links in the description below, or YouTube member. All that information is below this video. There you can support the channel and help us make better content and get more stuff. Let me move the mic over here. I just feel like you can hear me better when I put the mic closer. Sometimes I don't like the mic in the shot, but I'm rambling. You didn't come here to wonder where the Junkman puts his mic. You came here to learn about 10 characters from Star Wars that I hope show up in Star Wars. So, let's go. Number 10. Now, don't jump to the comment section. Junkman, that's stupid. That's not canon. No. Let me explain. Let me talk it all out before you jump on the comment section. Comment at the end of the video. Number 10. Chewbacca. Yes, Chewbacca. Obi-Wan, how could he work into the series? Well, let's go back to the original movie, A New Hope, as we call it nowadays. Obi-Wan walks into the bar. Although he strikes up Boshak, or however you pronounce his name, he talks to him for a few seconds, not long, and then he moves on to Chewbacca after Boshak nods at him. It could be played with that Obi-Wan kind of has a relationship with Chewbacca already. Now, I'm not saying Chewbacca's in the whole series or anything, or they're best friends, but they could have had a run-in here or there. And Chewbacca does know Yoda, and Yoda and Obi-Wan are good friends. So maybe there's some kind of relationship there that would lead Obi-Wan to ask him for a ride to Alderaan, setting off the events of Star Wars, A New Hope, as we call it today. I know, it's a long shot, but I wouldn't mind seeing maybe them two interact in some way. Again, I don't think I would want Chewbacca as the main character. I wouldn't want him running around doing adventures, but maybe just running into him, getting to know him. Maybe they just have some kind of past interest or something. Nothing major. Maybe one episode. Could be kind of cool. Number 9. The little green guy himself, Baby Yoda. No, not Baby Yoda. Adult Yoda. The regular Yoda. I know. Baby Yoda isn't Yoda. Don't have to tell me in the comments below. Yoda. This is one that's probably going to happen. Maybe. I mean, I know Yoda's over on Dagobah hanging out and everything, but there's no reason for him to stay there every single day in that swamp planet. I mean, he could move around. Sure, he was in hiding, but I don't think there was anyone actively looking for him. And Obi-Wan sat 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. He could jump over to Tatooine and give Obi-Wan a hand, or maybe they're just doing some kind of force talking, like, in the newer movies when they do the force thing and they appear in front of each other. Or maybe Obi-Wan's got a cell phone and he's giving Yoda a call, ask him some advice and stuff. Never know, but I think Yoda could show up. Wouldn't be surprised if he did. It'd be great to see Yoda back again, but won't hold my breath. Number 7. This one I think will happen in a way, maybe. I'm just guessing here. Jabba the Hutt. Now, if Jabba doesn't show up, I think you might likely see a Hutt in the series. I wouldn't be surprised. After all, it's set on Tatooine, where the Hutts, control everything. Jabba should be controlling, Mos Eisley, the area where Obi-Wan lives or close to it. So I wouldn't be surprised if old Jabba the Hutt showed up himself. And I hope he has Salacious Crumb with him. I mean, I can see this happening. Jabba, Tatooine, it just goes together like peanut butter and chocolate. Nothing far-fetched here. You could actually see it being worked into the show. If they get the CGI or whatever they use right, it would be really great if they went back and made an actual puppet like we saw in Return of the Jedi. Maybe you can enhance it a little bit with CGI, but as long as it looks better than that special edition shit. Okay, where are we at? Number 6, since Anakin's coming back, what about his good friend Kitster? And I've seen it actually thrown around on the social media that maybe it's this guy that is cast in the film. I can kind of see that. Kitster was in the Phantom Menace. He's about Anakin's age, and he lives on Tatooine. It's possible he could be friendly with Obi-Wan, maybe not good friends, or just worked into the series somehow. And so you can see how maybe Kitster could fit into a storyline of Obi-Wan. Again, it doesn't have to be the whole series. One episode would be cool to see him in. But I wish if he did, they got the original actor back. I mean, look how cool. This is the coolest kid I've ever seen. Look at that. So confident. Number 5. Dexter. You remember the guy from the diner in Attack of the Clones. A lot of people don't seem to like that scene, or maybe that character, but I like it. And they seem to have a relationship. They seem to be on friendly terms, him and Obi-Wan. So maybe one episode, Obi-Wan needs some information, or Dex shows up on Tatooine, maybe he needs some help, and Obi-Wan's there to help him out. This is a long shot I give you at number 5, but I think it would be fun to see him again. After all, he didn't really get to do much, and Obi-Wan does have to eat. Who knows, maybe Dex has opened a restaurant on Tatooine, because also Obi-Wan's going to need a job. They have no pension plan when the Jedis fell. I'm sure the Empire didn't give the fleeing Jedis compensation for losing their job. So maybe he's talked Dexter into coming to Tatooine, opening up a new diner there, and he's the shorthand cook or the busboy, but long shot right there. Number 5, Palpatine. Now, I don't really need Palpatine, but I'm always excited to see, especially if it's Ian McDiarmid, because this guy is so great at playing the Emperor. I mean, his opera scene in Revenge of the Sith is classic. But if Anakin's coming back, what about his sidekick, Palpatine? And I thought about this when we were doing our live stream. We were kind of talking about this also. I believe it's canon, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will, that the Emperor knows of Luke and Leia. After all, Anakin was having surgery at the time, and he believes Padme died in giving childbirth, and the kids too. Palpatine knew all along. So he knows there's a Luke Skywalker out there. Maybe he has found out where Luke Skywalker is, sent some people out there to get him, and that's the story of Obi-Wan protecting Luke. But that probably doesn't work, because even if you stopped one kidnapping, the Emperor would keep trying again. But I can see where the Emperor would want to get Luke, hide him away from Darth Vader, train him in secret, and then get Luke to kill Vader and have a new apprentice. And who knows, maybe from the storyline, maybe just a group of people find out about Luke and they plan to kidnap him and sell him to the Emperor. That could be an interesting storyline, because I'm pretty sure Luke's going to show up in this, even if it's kind of in the background or something, or minor character when Uncle Owen improves around, tagging along. He would be about 10 years old. Now, I was kind of going in order here, but I skipped number 8. Cassian Andor from Rogue One. Now, of course, he has his own television show coming out that takes place before Rogue One, what puts it a little few years probably after the Obi-Wan series. So he'll be a little younger, maybe not much younger, and it might be a good way to kick off his show also. Now, I'm not sure which one's going to come first. I believe they're already filming his show and Obi-Wan shows starting to film in April, so the Andor show probably is going to come out first, but still will be a way to bridge the two together. And I think in this time period, he would be in his late teens probably, so maybe he's hanging out the wrong crowd or something very early stages of his life, and in a couple episodes he has a run-in with Obi-Wan. So let's get back to number 3. Cassian should have been number 8, sorry. Number 3, Biggs and Tank. Now we all know Biggs Darklighter, Luke Skywalker's friend. Some Star Wars fans are going to say, who is Tank? Well, there's only 2 Star Wars friends mentioned in Star Wars by Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, Biggs and Tank. They're the only 2 mentioned by name. What? You don't remember them talking about Tank in A New Hope? Remember this?
It's only one more season.
Yeah, that's what she said when Biggs and Tank met.
So if we see a 10-year-old Luke Skywalker running around with his aunt and uncle, or maybe Obi-Wan watching him off in the distance as they shoot romp rats, he needs to be shooting those romp rats with friends. Who better to have him hanging out with than Biggs and Tank? Who knows, maybe Tank or Biggs are getting him into some trouble, and Obi-Wan kind of just steps in. It does seem from watching A New Hope that Obi-Wan and Luke kind of do know each other, more than the crazy man down the road, but Luke recognizes him. Obi-Wan, of course, recognizes it also, so they may have had some small interaction before. So you can see maybe a scenario where Luke was hanging out with Biggs and Tank talked Luke into shoplifting some power converters, and old Obi-Wan had to step in with some wise sayings so Luke would not be tempted to shoplift. I don't know, you could do something like that and bring Biggs and Tank into the story. Number 2, and this is my more serious one. This is the one I want out of all of them. Although I don't have it at number 1, this is the one I'm I'll say 65% sure, probably more than that. I think it's going to be the shocker of the show, the Luke Skywalker moment, if you will. Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson. Hopefully we'll get a ghost of him, a Force ghost. If not, maybe just his voice, but I think we need to see him. He needs to be in contact with Obi-Wan in some way, and we know from Revenge of the Sith, while he's out in Tatooine watching over Luke, Yoda wants him to train on how to connect with the Force, become a Force ghost. So it only makes sense that Qui-Gon's going to play a part in this, and I would be very, very surprised if Qui-Gon Jinn doesn't show up in this series. At least with a voiceover, but I'm hoping a Force ghost. Like I said, I'm damn sure this is going to happen, but we'll see. And number 1 character I hope shows up in the Star Wars Obi-Wan series. Don't click off this video. Let me explain. When I say this name, don't freak out. Don't tell me I'm a fool. Well, let me set up the scene for you first. Let's say the series starts. There's a ship flying in space toward Tatooine. 3 or 4 TIE fighters are after it. It's on fire. It's about to crash. It does some hell maneuvers, flips around, destroys the 3 TIE fighters, lands safely on Tatooine. The ramp comes down, and out steps a mature Jar Jar Binks. Not the teen Jar Jar Binks or kitty, Misa, Jar Jar Binks. Not this one. A mature Jar Jar Binks steps out. He's got some information. They had to fight his way to Tatooine to get to Obi-Wan Kenobi, setting off the story. And we get a mature Jar Jar Binks. This will give Jar Jar Binks a whole new love from the fans out there. He's older, he's mature, he's badass, he's helping out still. He didn't go back to the Gungan Undercity. He's out there trying to help out the Rebel Alliance. And I think having a more mature Jar Jar Binks that the fans would love is kind of a metaphor, if you can call it that, for the prequels themselves. You got the prequels that were overly bashed when they came out. The old fans didn't really like them too much or wasn't happy with them. The new fans enjoyed them. You've seen a shift in people really appreciating the prequels, loving the prequels. So maybe that is why you bring Jar Jar in. You bring Jar Jar back. You mature him. And you show Hey, you didn't like how this was in the past, but then you grown to love it, like you did the prequels. I think it would be very cool to finally give Jar Jar some good meaning, turn the character around, make people appreciate Jar Jar Binks, even if it's just a little better. You can say, well, in the prequels, he was kind of the immature young Gungan, and in this movie, he's a fighter for the Rebel Alliance, risking his life. Hell, he might even die bringing some information to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who knows? Maybe it's a crazy thought, but let me know what you think about Jar Jar Binks. And one other thing is, I'm guessing they're going to call this series Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I really hope they call him Ben Kenobi, because that's a name he hadn't gone by in a long time. But then again, this is 10 years before A New Hope, so 10 years is a long time. Anyway, let me know some Star Wars characters that you would love to see show up in the Obi-Wan series. Let me know what you think about Jar Jar Binks, or maybe Cassian Andor, the Rogue One character, showing up, or the Emperor showing up, Dex, or some of these others I talked about on the list. Let me know all that and more. And, as always, please thumb up so you like my content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman. Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.